We're going live now. So tell us about, like, you went to Startup Weekend, you're there, what was next? Like, you had that idea, like, some people thought it was a cool idea, so you built something quickly, but, like, what was next after that?
So what was next? Yeah, so after Startup Weekend, we came second, great momentum. A couple of press articles came out, a couple hundred signups. And then at that point, a lot of my team had full-time jobs. Most people come to Startup Weekend and they're just looking for a fun activity to do on the weekend, a project where they can be creative outside of their own job. And so actually, Keith Ippel, one of the judges, reached out to me, and he runs the Spring Activator. And he said, hey, you know what? I think it's a great idea. I think you want to keep your momentum. Check out the Lean Entrepreneurship Program at Kick. The Kick program at Spring is. And so went into that program, and it was fantastic because coming from Kenya, went to UBC on a scholarship. I know a lot of people from the age of 20 to 25. Like, that's everybody I know in Vancouver. But I don't know anybody over 35 years old. And so the Kick program really allowed me to announce myself to the tech community. I'd done a startup before, but we were mainly based on the campus. It was a ticketing app. We did it very much garage style, So within the industry that we were targeting, we got to know a lot of people. But within the technology industry, in terms of mentors, advisors, we didn't really spread ourselves there. So through the Kick program, I was able to open myself up to a lot of the other entrepreneurs that are at the Spring Activator office, as well as a bunch of the events that are going on, and then open myself up to the mentors that they offer you there. The second thing, though, was really to take the business idea and push it through, like, the lean funnels, which is where you take everything that you think you know and you make an assumption. And then what you do is you take those assumptions and you verify. Are people willing to pay for garden information? Are people willing to show up for workshops? Are people willing to have someone come to their house and give them an assessment? Are people willing to pay for a complete box kit? Then those are sort of the assumptions we want to test. And outside of that is, what do people actually want out of a gardening ecosystem platform software? And so one of the creative things that we did was, I had one programmer building the web. We didn't have an iOS programmer at the time. So I said, let's not wait.
You still don't have one.
We still don't have. We currently have an iOS programmer who's working very part-time. I'd say about 5 hours a week on average. I mean, he puts in a little more, but we're looking to hire right now.
Looking for Swift, for C#?
We're looking for an iOS developer who, Swift would be nice to have, but Objective-C is fine for now. Just as we're keeping very open, because obviously if someone knows their stuff on iOS, they'll be able to learn Swift very rapidly over the time working with us. We're also looking for a graphic designer, so a front-end graphic designer, to supplement our team. But as I said, it's not waiting for technology. We started doing monthly workshops. So we, instead of running around looking for people, we let people come to us. This way, we now had an evoked set of people who actually want to garden, actually want to learn. And then we took those people's questions and asked them, okay, what are your biggest fears? What do you worry about? What did you fail in last year? Okay, walk us through your buying process. And then all that data really, really opened it up for us. And the biggest learning was we were just going to build an app that taught you how to garden. And the way it did it was by giving people daily tasks and reminders. And in the beginning, we weren't even looking at it just as daily tasks. We just realized through talking to people, they're like, I'm overwhelmed. I need to know if I'm going to be gardening for 4 months, a 4-month project, tell me every day the 5 things that I need to do, and fine, and then let me track it. But then after we're doing these workshops, most of the people said, Mike, this is fantastic. You're giving us a lot of information. Where do I get good boxes? Where do I get good soil? How do I know these seeds are good, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? And then I started realizing we need to put commerce into the application. That's the starting point. People need to buy all the inputs and buy the right inputs, so that we're estimating that if you buy the right inputs, we can increase your chance of success by 50% or decrease your chance of failure, whichever way you want to look at it.
So Emerson Jose is an iOS developer in Objective-C, and he'd love to talk to you. So how can someone get in touch with you?
So someone get in touch with me, they can reach out to Mike, M-I-K-E, at mygreenspace.ca.
.ca. Nice. Good.
Yeah, and so that's what we started doing through the Kick program. We also, evaluated like things from our elevator pitch to learning about how to hire talent, how to plan for talent. One of the great workshops that Keith puts on is capital raising. So really going into, most entrepreneurs just want to take money from anyone, but really showing you that you want to identify your ideal like investor. What do they look like? Not just a rich person. Like what are their values? What are they invested in before? What are their networks? What doors can they open? What distribution channels they know? What is their personal expertise? Because it's a marriage. You want these people to actually bring more than just money. Because I've had less than smart money coming into a company before, and it's terrible when you have a sleeping investor who doesn't really contribute to you, and then you're still doing all the work. You'll realize that money is just like 25% of the hustle once you actually get it. So that's really important. Other than that, what also came out of it was I just learned that if you can hustle hard enough and if you can get to clients every day, you're actually going to be ahead of the competition. Because what the competition is doing, and I talked about it a little bit earlier, is all they're doing is selling what they already have. And Malcolm Gladwell talks about this in his book called David and Goliath. And it's talking about underdog misfits and how the art of battling giants. What he says is big companies are like oil tankers. So if you know anything about oil tankers, they take about 15 kilometers just to stop. So they can't just stop. Same as diners, like they can't just move around. If like they're going in one direction, even if there's an opportunity there, they're like oh, and you know what I mean? But small companies, you're more like a little rabbit. You're able to just pivot very quickly, you know, because you don't have so much weight. You only have maybe 4 or 5 people on your team, you know, and things like that.
What's a startup that like comes to mind when you think of that like revolutionized an industry as a small company? Like for me, Instagram, 11 people, $1 billion exit, Kodak, bankrupt.
Exactly,
like that was probably one of the first. Like, are there others that you come to mind?
What would you see? I mean, you could see, even just look at Apple. Like you look at Apple, like I know they don't look like a startup right now, but if you look in the beginning, IBM, you had all these bigger companies who had the opportunity to like make personal computers and things like that, and they were like, that's not going to be an opportunity. That's nothing. Like Steve Jobs went and pitched the head of Atari and said, hey, do you want 30% of Apple, $50,000? He says, what's the use going to be of this? And so really like a big companies never get a chance to look at those opportunities that are coming forward. So that's the big thing. And that's why you as a small company, even though it looks daunting, you have the opportunity to make software or make product that bigger companies would take them like millions of dollars to do. Just think about, you know, even if like Home Depot wanted to make the application that we're making, it's going to need senior executives to sit down in a meeting for like 4 months. Each of those gets a salary of $200,000 plus. So, you know, that's one. Then they're going to bring in a consulting company, pay them $100,000. And they're going to bring in a tech company, pay them like $200,000. And they're going to bring XX, you know what I mean? They can't do it. That's why you see all the big companies acquiring smaller companies. Even if you look at what happened with Twitter and Meerkat versus their Periscope app.
Yeah, can we talk about Periscope and Meerkat?
Yeah, so you look at Periscope and Meerkat came along, and a platform allowing you to live stream any event and then have people on Twitter, you know, comment and share and reshare to their followers. Periscope, Twitter now bought Periscope. Periscope was doing the same thing. Twitter was like, oh, how do we copy this? How do we copy this? They're not going to put together a team or whatever. They can. It's too big. They just turn around, buy a company with the technology, go forward. So that's one of the big opportunities if you're looking to maybe not start a company that's your deep passion and go forward. Look for those opportunities where you can almost be like an outsourced entrepreneur for a big company. Eventually, they'll just buy you out because it's cheaper for the thinking to come from outside. So that's one of the things that really motivates me to continue in entrepreneurship, because when you're small and light, like I said, you can really do amazing things with small teams. You can move fast, break things the way the Facebook CEO says, and you know, hopefully you change the world. Maybe you just change the industry. Maybe you just learn something, and then the next time you get on a project, you can do it better.
What about that next time? Oh, if you want to be an entrepreneur, like how does someone be an entrepreneur in Vancouver? Like, what do they need to do?
Yeah, so I think the thing with being an entrepreneur in Vancouver is the most important thing is you want to get in. You want to get in with mentors, advisors, people who've done it before. And the cool thing about Vancouver is it's a pay-it-forward community. Obviously, they're the big stars like Ryan Holmes, things like that, the CEO of Hootsuite. Yeah. So Ryan Holmes is the CEO of Hootsuite. You're probably not going to get in with him right away because he's so busy. Everyone's trying to get in with him. But there's smaller tech founders, whether they be CEOs, whatever, where they're always willing and open to help people who just come behind them. One of the best advices that I got was don't look for someone who's made like crazy success. Look for someone who's just a couple steps ahead of you. Reach out to them and ask them, because the experiences that they've just had are very fresh in their mind. You know, you're just about to get a job, or you're just about to launch your company, or just about to get funding, or you're just about to move cities. Look for the people who've had those experience, reach out to them, and always, always keep networking. One of the big things that, Ilya says, I'm a connector. Ilya is a super connector. Keep connecting people. And connecting, it's not about the direct, oh, I connected you, give me money. It's like, the more people you connect, the bigger your network becomes, the more influence you have when people will come back and say, hey, I trust you to give me another connection. I trust you to bring the right people to me. Then people come back and start asking you for new opportunities, or when you have your own thing that you want to ask, God kind of stuff with me or whatever it is, you built that network. The other thing I would want to say is that there is a lot of money floating around in Vancouver, and so you can go both ways. You can go impact, where you're looking at creating social change and also making money, or you can look at straight making money. Look for problems, like look for actual problems. So you may have an idea, but it may not be a problem for someone. And the hardest thing to do is to build a website, and say, oh, I have this idea to, ship people like school bags. And I think parents are going to, pay to buy school bags online instead of going to the store. And you don't realize that that is actually the best activity for a family to do right before going to school. Moms don't want to buy online. They want to take their kids out so they have something to do with them practically. And you never asked any parents. You just went, made these school bags in China, brought them here, got an investor, put up your website, and then you start selling, buy these school bags online. And then after a few months, you realize why no one's buying. You ask a mom and she says, well, no one buys school bags like that. So the big thing I would say is like really look for a problem and then just start talking to customers. And you have to want to have fun talking to people, whether it's online, whether it's in person. If that's not who you are, definitely get a co-founder who does want to do that, because that's the money. Before the technology is built, even while it's being built, that's the edge factor. They talk about the hacker, the hustler, and the hipster designer. That's sort of the holy trinity of the core startup team. And one without the other is probably not, you may survive, for example, if you're doing an Instagram and something that doesn't need human touch points. If you do have a website or a product or a company that interfaces with people all the time, outside of that, then you really want to be talking to people all the time.
Yeah, so let's talk about talking to people. A lot of people are going to come here for the first time. Their English might not be so good. How can they maybe get over that and kind of start talking to people, both on getting them a job and also doing the startup thing? Like, even with like your English maybe not the best, and how can you kind of use that process to improve your English? Exactly.
I think the first thing is like really use events. Use events to your advantage. Meetups. There's a lot of great events. Either using meetup.com or you're going to some of the events being hosted by the BC government or the local government. For example, I think it's also making yourself vulnerable. You have to put yourself out there. Like I think especially in Vancouver, it's a very, very liberal society. It's a very, very encouraging society. No one's going to be making fun of you because you can't speak English well. It's not like that. It's so encouraging.
It's the complete opposite, right?
It's a complete opposite. People want to hear a story. So when you come in, just like be very, very story-oriented. Like be very, very driven in why you want to talk to them.
Story a lot.
Yeah,
story.
Exactly. Like why do you want to talk to them? What do you want to share? What do you want to learn? And if you're authentic like that, people are like, yes, of course I'll tell you about my story. So really ask questions. I guess that's one of the things that I learned over the last 2 years. People say that I talk a lot. Maybe.
What kind of questions? No worries. Say about that.
Yeah, so then ask questions. So
we'll ask questions soon.
Yeah, think about like what you really want to know, and don't feel shy being like, this is a stupid question. If you really want to know it and you couldn't have found it out on the internet, or you couldn't ask anyone else, then ask it, because then the way that question comes across the person, they're like, okay, this is the answer, or maybe they don't know, maybe they'll lead you on to someone who does know. But really, I think it's like you first think about like what do you want out of every meeting, out of every networking event. Think of that first. Go there with a plan, and then just hone in on one person, get your practice on, and then practice. It's like learning English or learning a language or even learning to network. Like when I was 2-3 years ago, I was always shy coming to a networking event. Then I realized that like a lot of older entrepreneurs, they get energy out of talking to younger entrepreneurs or new entrepreneurs because they remember what it was like just being fresh. They remember that hunger. And if you showcase that you're really hungry, you're ready to learn, you're coachable, you can take that feedback, and the next time you come back, you use that information that you got from them, then it just propels you forward. Awesome. So I just wanted to thing up. So now you're fundraising. Yeah. So we're currently fundraising. We have an investor who's helping us lead the round. We're looking
Is that public who that is?
No, not yet public who that is.
Do I know them? That's that.
Yeah, you can. I mean, I guess it is public. We've brought on our founding advisor, Praveen Varshini.
Nice.
Varshini
That's
Capital.
awesome. Congrats, man.
Yeah,
High five. That's actually really sick.
Yeah, it's really
like a top firm here.
It's a top firm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been following us for a couple of years, myself, and then since Startup Weekend, he believes in the vision. He himself and his family have, been gardening at home, and he's just opened up his network.
See, this is a story. He believes in the vision. His family is into it as well.
Exactly.
So that's like the story angle of things, right?
Exactly, and that's what I mean. It's really on the story. I mean, of course, the money side, like, there's a huge market opportunity. But like, I've connected with these networks by telling the story. This is what we want to do and why.
Yeah.
Like, why should the company exist? One of the biggest books that I suggest everybody read is 0 to 1. It's by Peter Thiel, and he's talking about how to build the future. So the difference between startup that just iterates. So for example, McDonald's sells coffee at $2. You open up a coffee shop, you sell $1. That's just like 1 to 2. It's like it's just a small increment as compared to what PayPal did. Before, you couldn't even transfer money online. PayPal comes up and you can email transfer, or even to, looking at what Tesla's doing with electric cars. Like, they're completely redefining industries. And what he says at that level is that you really, really want to be very clear on why your company exists. So he talks about secrets. Like, what are the businesses today that should be started that no one else is building? What are the things that you and your team know is true or know is right that no one else is looking at? Those are the things that should happen. So for us, people having the knowledge and being armed with the equipment and resources to grow their own food is very, 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 very close to my heart. I think it'll help heal a lot of social issues that we have in the world, whether it be from community to malnutrition to etc. So that's the why that we want to have a garden in every home, and then people now start connecting to that outside of just a monetary thing. And so not every company can have that, but it's really good for you to think of what you want to contribute to the world from that standpoint. And then when you go forward, it's so much easier to grow your tribe. Mm-hmm. Another book to read is Tribes by Seth Godin.
Yeah, Seth Godin. I'm just going to name it anything by Seth Godin.
Anything by Seth Godin. Yeah. He's pretty much like the new world marketing guru, but he looks at it from a very, very high level to very, very specific. So yeah, I think it's really, really connect that story. And the great thing is when you start seeing that, you start realizing that whatever your story is and whatever that authentic thing, they are a million people around the world that connect to that. They don't all live in the same place, and they don't have to. And that's the great thing. It's like people think
some might live in Brazil, some might live in Canada.
Exactly. Because we have the internet, it's so easy for you to connect all those people. Then once you've connected them, it's so easy for you to get a little bit of value out of a lot of people. And so then that way you start seeing we haven't even seen the beginning of social networks. And that's why I'm really excited about the Brazil-Canada connection, is that we're basically like dismantling borders through the internet. We're gonna, there's gonna be a way where someone's gonna be working here, someone's gonna be working here. We're gonna be having, resources being taken out there, being put here. People's schools are gonna now have, campuses all over the world where they, where it was never possible before.
So we're actually opening up a tech school in Sao Paulo, and we're gonna have a campus in Vancouver and a campus in Sao Paulo. Yeah, so it's like a program boot camp, 9 weeks. Ruby on Rails, JavaScript, same material as Lighthouse Labs.
And you need to have a program in Kenya.
Yeah. Well, maybe Kenya can be country number 3.
Exactly.
Yeah,
there's a huge. See, the thing about, so I'll talk about innovation. We'll talk about 0 to 1. So in Kenya, Kenya was the first country in the world to have mobile money transfer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what was it called?
M-Pesa. So using feature phones like the 3310. You guys remember the Nokia 3310 with Snake and the one big button? So in Kenya, 60% in the year 2000, 60% of Kenyans didn't have bank accounts. 30% because they were unbankable, they didn't have a fixed address. They lived in the slum, shanty towns, whatever, And then the other 30% didn't have the requirements to get a bank account, and you needed 5 months' salary as a minimum balance. Can you imagine? Like, who has that? So it's crazy. So that was 60%. A bank comes into the country, says no minimum balances. Banks 10 million people in a year. Then the smartphone company comes and says, actually what's happening is most people are getting paid in cash. You're walking home into the slum, you're getting beaten up, you're putting cash under your pillow, you're digging money in your backyard, crazy. So they say, you know what, now any place, any kiosk, any London Drugs, you can go in, give them money, and they'll put money on your car, on your phone, right on the SIM card. Now you can buy daily insurance. You can pay medical insurance on a daily basis, car insurance on a daily basis. You can pay all your bills using just SMS protocol, like encrypted whatever. So using that, now that's like the biggest bank in Kenya. They do $2 billion of transactions a day.
How is that is applied to Africa?
So it's now spreading to lots of countries in Africa. It's actually spreading to Eastern Europe. It was started by Vodafone in collaboration with a Kenyan company. And what's amazing, though, is now people can, Western Union, talk about a company, Western Union is getting crushed because now you can just send phone to phone. Western Union used to charge like 30% to send money. It's crazy. Now you can send money for like, 10 cents, whatever. So that was a huge innovation. But the point I was trying to make was in Kenya, innovation came out of necessity. No one had credit cards. Till now in Kenya, you have 5% of people with credit cards. So they thought, how do we leapfrog? So you're seeing a lot of these countries, they're not going to go through the same steps we did in the West, checkbook, this, that. They're going to go from no internet to iPhone 6. Can you imagine that jump? It's like, it's crazy. Like, so this is why Facebook is focusing on the next billion, what they call the next billion people on the internet. Yeah, right now, there's about 2.5 internet.org. Now they have 2.5 billion people on the internet, maybe 3. In the next 3 years, it's going to be another billion people who are going to come to the internet in Web 3.0. Not the internet in the 90s, chat room, like internet with Slack, internet with Uber, internet with etc. That Bitcoin. And so what is the world going to
How many of those are going to be from Brazil?
Exactly. I don't know, because Brazil has about 250 million people.
Yeah.
And Canada has only 30 million people. But Canada is a country where there are 5 million professionals in Canada who pull the GDP of like 20 countries. But that's the potential that's going to shift. Brazil is probably going to be one of the biggest economies in the world after India. China is building a canal through Nicaragua to connect Brazil and China direct, so they don't have to pay for the Panama Canal.
That's crazy. Valley's going to love that.
Yeah. So that's huge. That's like extracting value. But if you just think about like, Brazilians will come here. I've come here as well, from Kenya. But we also have to think about how we can use the thinking that we found here to now go back into our own countries and build business empires there, because it's going to be built by young people like ourselves. Yeah, the governments may not be great. Yeah, things aren't there, but the will for innovation is bigger there than here, I think.
And there's a campaign I just want to give a quick shout out to. It's called Imagina.você. It's from this great group called Imagina Copa that's in Sao Paulo. They did a campaign where they supported young social entrepreneurs all over Brazil before the World Cup, to like have them have their World Cup dreams come true in terms of like what they want to see change in society. And now they're doing this new campaign called Imagina.você, and they're doing a crowdfunding campaign for it. And it's 50,000 hands. I think there are 20 now. And it's all about that. It's all about how we can like use technology, how could we use social media, how can we use data measuring tools to make a like data-driven change in their own society. And like bringing that kind of stuff to Brazil, to Kenya, to the world is a pretty big goal for us.
It is. That's amazing. And now one of the things to look out is called human-centered design. So like in the tech space, we talk about like, customer validation, etc. But bigger than that, outside of technology, human-centered design just talks about designing solutions by using the people who are going to use them, or the people who have the problems right at the beginning. So what would happen before is people would sit in a New York office saying, we need to send food to Africa and help them with something. They would do all the planning in the New York office, everything, get the money. Then they'd jump on a plane, go there, and be like, here's a solution. They didn't talk to anybody on the ground.
Human-centered design. That guy.
I'm not sure of anyone in Vancouver, but Acumen Plus, there's a course. I think it's a free course on Acumen.
Yeah, it's a good way to train your English. Take a free online course in English, right?
That's a great way.
By the way, are you guys able to understand him when he's speaking? Is he speaking too fast? Or
yeah, sorry if I was speaking too fast.
Yeah, just make sure we're at a good rate, especially when people are online. And okay, cool. So, so what about that immigration process? It's a big kind of thing that weighs over everything. You're always worried what's going to happen with that. How did you handle that? What was your process like?
Yeah, so
obviously being a Kenyan, not a Brazilian.
Yeah, being a Kenyan is even harder. I don't know about Brazil, but I need a visa just to be in an airport in a country. It's crazy. So getting a scholarship coming here, I was able to have that go through. And then afterwards, I'm now currently being sponsored, so by my girlfriend. So I'm going to be a permanent resident and be a citizen.
So that's number 2: find a Canadian wife.
No, I mean it's difficult. I mean the thing is, the other option is like there is the startup visa. You can be sponsored by a company.
Yeah, let's not get ourselves.
That's not working well. It's not working well. I mean the other thing is like getting a company that has investment is another thing.
Yeah.
But I think the best way is just to come and go to school. Just to come and study here. Once you've studied, then you're able to do the, I think it's the postgraduate, or you can do, and then you can get the enterprise, like the express.
Canadian experience.
And
now Express Entry is launching.
Exactly. So I think that's the best way to do it. Primarily, the best thing to do is just to become really, really, really expert in a field of study and in a workspace. And because that's what Canada is looking for. Canada has only 30 to 35 million people. It's going to need to boost that number to like 80 million people over the next 100 years. And they were looking for people with skills. Like by 2050, there's going to be 6 old people to one working age person in Canada. In Japan, it's going to be like 9 to 1. Japan's solution is robots. So they're going to have like robot bartenders. They're going to have like robot nurses, all that sort of stuff. But Canada's solution is immigration. So then that way you're looking at it. But what they want to do is they want to bring in skilled immigration. So it's like if you just, I don't know what ages everybody is, but like you want to put yourself on a 5-year trajectory. What can you do in the next 5 years for yourself to become really, really expert in a field? It could be like translations, it could be whatever. And using that then, when the world opens up, and borders are going to open up because, labor has to move, especially when
But it already is open. Like anyone from Odesk, freelancer.
No, of course, like that. But I mean, in terms of wanting to move here, then that's when companies are going to go to bat for you. Because there's a lot of companies that are pulling people in here, but what they want to do is they want to pull in high-value people. So if you want to come in on that thing, just continue trying to get yourself to be a very, very high-value individual.
So what do Vancouver startups look for? What kind of programs, talents? What does the Canadian government look for? Like,
I think
if you are what we want, what are we looking for?
I think what people are looking for is they're looking for experienced people with specific talents. So I can't speak for all startups. I mean, like a lot of people in Vancouver are looking for Ruby on Rails. Ruby on Rails is the big buzz, like a lot of technology is built on that. So, you want to be going in there. iOS for sure.
Slow down a little bit. iOS?
iOS, so iPhone programmers, Ruby on Rails programmers is what people are looking for. I think also, people are looking for people with experience. So if you're coming in as a very junior developer, it's very difficult.
But what if you're already like a 5-year experience, 10-year experience developer in Brazil who like knows, some PHP or some Python and like wants to move here? What would you tell that guy?
For us, for example, like, we're mainly looking for mobile, but I would say still apply. I'm pretty sure there's still a lot of opportunities. I'm not very versed on.
Would you be open to making a connection to another startup looking for that kind of profile?
Yes. I think the main thing is to start networking either through LinkedIn or to start looking at like Tech Vibes, etc. Like there are a lot of jobs boards that are looking for people.
Yeah, there'll be a Tech Vibes Tech Fest on May 14th. So have you been to that? How was that?
No, I haven't been to Tech Vibes Job Fest, but
that's awesome. You guys should have a stand there.
That would be good.
Yeah. So.
And I would say, network online, because I know, if you ever go on Tech Vibes, it's like in Vancouver, 1,000 tech jobs, a week, and some of them not getting filled. Companies like Hootsuite are hiring like, 40 people a week. So
yeah,
I think there's definitely an opportunity. I don't know if language is a major thing, like how much of an English requirement could be a barrier. I think that's something to look into, and I think it's definitely something to just continuously be working on is that element, because communication is so important when you're working in like high performance teams, and being able to communicate what you want or what you need or when you have problems could be a make or break. So I think that's something really important.
Cool. So again, just to say it 3 times, you're looking for an iOS developer and a front-end designer.
Yeah, we're looking for an iOS developer and a front-end designer to join our team. Primarily, we'd want them to be in Vancouver. We are open to remote. That's all my information. And so please email out to me. Also, I would also say just email me your stories. It would be great, just to have, hey, this is who I am. This is what I'm looking for, because there's always opportunities, other startups, very, very ingrained in the community, and be always open to make introductions and connections.
Yeah, so what other kind of startups are you looking at and are excited about in Vancouver right now?
There's a startup called Latagram. Latagram is interesting. It allows people to schedule posts to Instagram. So that's a very interesting startup. One of the startups that I'm actually impressed about is Procurify, and they're an order management system for businesses. I was able to talk with one of the people working there, and I'm really impressed to see how they came out of a student project out of BCIT. Now they are
studying.
Exactly. So they came on a student project out of BCIT.
Quickly, what other schools? There's a CDM, BCIT, Lingera, Douglas College,
UBC,
obviously Fairleigh Dickinson University,
UBC, Simon Fraser University. There's Douglas College, and
do you see them all as the same, or like does it matter?
I would say UBC is more technical. UBC SFU is more technical. It's a good foundation, but like BCIT, for example, is very vocational. So you're learning the skills on, I would say, a more practical basis. So you're building project-based learning, for example, as compared to UBC, where it's a lot more theory.
What about Lighthouse Labs and CodeCore?
Lighthouse Labs and CodeCore are a great option. I'm not sure how they handle international students in terms of getting visas for that. It's great. I actually was at the Lighthouse Labs demo day for the Ruby on Rails.
There'll be one tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah, there'll be one tomorrow as well, and I was really impressed. Like, I'd gone to one 2 years ago, and the level of students has upgraded a lot.
Yeah.
I think the way they teach, they're working constantly on improving the way they teach their curriculum, or maybe even filtering students' eligibility before they start. But I was very, very impressed by what was coming out of there. Too bad we are not looking for Ruby on Rails right now.
Yeah, but they have an IS program there.
They do, yeah. We actually just today interviewed some people from the IS program as well.
So there's actually a Brazilian that went through Lighthouse Labs and now is working for a company in my accelerator called Base. His name's Renato.
Oh, nice.
Renato. I don't know if you saw him around Launch Academy.
No.
So he did the iOS program there, and he was a front-end developer in Brazil. And now he's working at UX Guys and Base, Base for lower as an iOS developer, the first iOS hire. So there's three of them now on the team. That's awesome. And I bring this up because it's really cool to see that Brazilians are able to do it.
Of course.
Come here, like. Can you maybe talk about Pedro?
Yeah. So very, very cool. One of the best things that I saw was one of my best friends. He has a startup that is a labor marketplace for linking up construction companies with last-minute labor, so with labor shortages. And he was, for a year now, was looking for a developer. And Ilya was very, very happy to connect him with Pedro. Pedro is from Brazil.
He was looking for a year for a developer.
Yeah. And
so there's talent shortage.
There's a huge talent shortage. One of the big things I would even say is, if you want to get involved here, is to work not for free, maybe for equity, but get in on early stage startups. Because right now, if you're early stage, you don't have money, it's impossible to get great talent, because living in Vancouver is expensive, and good talent either gets taken up or they want to work for money. But Ilya connects us with Pedro. He's going to school here, and he's at Douglas College, and he's amazing. He's super hungry. He's super talented, and he loves to work. He loves to work on technology problems, and it's just been amazing to, I'm advising that company, and it's been amazing to see how hardworking he is, and how much he wants to succeed. And I'm really just impressed with most of the Brazilians that I've met.
Pedro's saying, "That's it, brother."
Pedro's online.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Connecting the real world
and online. There you go.
That's the thing for us. So let's get into what's going on right now. So you did some customer discovery with MyGreenSpace.
Yeah. So we did some customer discovery, and let's get. So with the customer discovery, we broke it down from online surveys to free home visits. So the home visits was amazing. So first we did a poll. We said, come to our workshops, learn what we have to share, tell us what you need. Then we said, now we're going to come to your house. We wanted 20 people. We got 55 responses, so we're working through those. And we go, one Sunday I did like 9 in 9 hours. It's amazing, because you go from sort of a lower income family whose budget may be $80 to a penthouse family whose budget may be $800, and it's just like such a sprawl. And then we're learning now as a system, how do we incorporate all these people and give them that range? So it has to be a range of products, but then also the app has to be a price that's affordable for all of them. And that's actually why the iOS market is amazing, because people are now very, very comfortable with apps $1 to $5 or subscription models that are like $5.99 Netflix style. You know, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. Everyone can afford that. You know, if you drink 2 cups of coffee, you've already paid your Netflix bill for the month.
Yeah, they're a great business model.
Great business model. And so that's one of the things I would say also is to look at how people's patterns of behavior and patterns of paying for services that are similar, and then sort of mimic that. So we did a bunch of those, and now we're at the point where we're using partnerships to discover customers. So we're working with a group called the Vancouver Biennale.
With the Gêmeos.
Gêmeos?
Yeah,
yeah,
the twins.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, they did the Gêmeos. So they brought in
Teaching
those.
Portuguese as well.
Yeah, yeah. So they brought in those artists, Gêmeos, and they did these huge concrete sculptures, 360. So we were actually down there at Granville Island to celebrate that art. But one of the other artists that they brought in was from India, and her art installation was a garden that spelt out, "I have a dream." So the food grew into the words, "I have a dream." And what her installation was about, Martin Luther King's, again, Martin Luther King's speech really resonated with her. So she said her dream is to get everybody growing food. So she started going to communities and landscaping.
Why is it important to grow food?
Well, the thing is, like, growing your own food is like printing your own money, is what Ron Finley in America says.
We need to have that written down in the quote.
Yeah, so that's Ron Finley's quote. He's from the States. You can look him up and just write Ron Finley. He's a guerrilla gardener. He was in LA, hardest neighborhood in LA, and he started just growing food in sidewalks. Every public space, parks, whatever, didn't ask any permission, and it just started bringing people together. You know, and things, because food transcends, like, you know, race, culture, age, etc. So it's a really big bonding thing.
Yeah, I got it. So who is Ron Finley? And
yeah, so
printing money. How is that?
printing
How do I print money? Can you start helping me print money?
Yeah, I can definitely start helping you print money.
It sounds too good to be true. Tell me.
So we're not yet in Brazil, but so with this partnership, the Vancouver Biennale, so we are now creating custom box kits for their organization, and so some of the proceeds from that are going to go back to the Biennale's Artist in Resident program. So they bring in artists from all over the world to Vancouver to do art installations. The Gêmeos guys was one of them.
Yeah.
The I Have a Dream Gardens was another one. And so using that, we were actually able this weekend to get 650 emails.
Whoa.
You know, in one day. Our list right now is 400. So you can imagine now our list has tripled.
So you're at 1,000.
We're at 1,000 now, but
That's
we're at
exciting.
400 without that. And exactly.
And that's a month-over-month growth you can show to an investor.
Exactly.
You guys see that? So if you can show that you have more users in your app, or you have more revenue in your app, you can go to investors and say, listen, guys, 5% week-over-week growth. That's what Paul Graham says from Y Combinator. If you can show me a startup that's giving you 5% week-over-week growth in revenue or users or some kind of meaningful metric that you can someday later monetize, then that's exciting, because it's showing that people are able to use it quickly. And that was secret for Facebook, for Twitter, for Tumblr, Airbnb, LinkedIn, all these companies. It's so easy to sign up. It's so easy to join, right? And so that is really exciting to investors. Have you been talking to them about that at all?
Of course. I mean,
core metrics.
Core metrics is, they're looking at, one is you talk about the size of the market opportunity. Then you look at the sort of traction. Early traction is signups like that. Outside of that is also our funnel of going and doing home visits, converting those into like manual quotes, selling people. So actually one of our
funnel.
Funnel, yeah. So what we're doing is the funnel metrics, what we're following is the pirate metrics. So pirate metrics is R. So that's
Dave McClure from 500 startups.
Yeah, so
now it's called 500.
Yeah, so it's a joke. It just means like you're looking at acquisition,
activation,
retention, revenue retention,
referral.
Yeah. So in those metrics, how many people are signing up? How many of those signups are converting to either being a paid customer or a subscription customer? And then how many of those paid or subscription customers are coming back to the app or the website on a daily basis? And then how many of those are actually sharing with their friends? So right now we're at the point of like actually, acquisition and activation. We're getting people in, we're getting them to commit to some sort of purchase. In the next week when our website is live, we're gonna be able to get a lot more people on. but currently right now we're doing it manually. And this is the importance of not waiting for technology.
All right, let's just take a break and think about this. This is really important. If you guys take one thing away from Mike's talk today, is that you don't have to wait for the technology to be ready to go out and validate your ideas and then just be, held back by that. And
Exactly.
I think what you did with your customer discovery is an example of that. Talk about that. How did you do concierge service?
Yeah.
What is that?
So concierge service is where we mimicked the functioning of the app. So if the app, it says the app, using the app, you'll be able to figure out what you can grow in your space. We either take a phone call with you, or we do a survey online, or we come to your house and we assess, okay, this is your backyard, we measure it. And then we say, how much sun does it have? We observe, or we ask you, put that down. Okay, what do you want to grow?
This is data collection.
Data collection. So we're bringing all those inputs, and then we manually put that into a plan. And that actually takes an hour. Like the visit takes probably like we can get it down to about half an hour. But
and this has to do with getting out of the building.
Getting out of the building. So
Don't
then
just build an app and wait, okay, users.
Yeah, exactly. And so we're out there in people's homes, we're assessing, we're on the ground, and then you get the finesse questions, things that they can't ask you when they're on your website using it, If, right now you use Instagram, you wish, oh man, I wish I could retweet. You can't really ask them that. Maybe you could like go into the feedback and write something. But when they were building, they obviously had, user focus groups where they're asking people, hey, what would you do here? And it even goes as early as you can use paper prototypes. So one of the biggest design things is a paper prototype.
Make one now.
Yeah, you make one now. So you can use an app called Pop.
I have that app.
Yeah, and so you can make a paper prototype and then show that to users and let them interact with that and get a lot of learning out of that.
So let's make an app.
Let's make an app. Okay. What do you want to make an app of?
What do you guys want to make an app of?
Yeah. Who has a problem
Who has
here?
an app? A problem.
A problem. An app.
Eric, tell them about your idea. Tell them about your app. Let's show the idea phase. Information about trails for hikers.
Yes.
Because Google
Yes.
screws you over all.
I love that app idea. And you know what? There's actually no, I was thinking about the same thing. So there's a website called Vancouver Trails.com, and they have a great website. They have a great database of all these hikes you can do, but it's not mobile optimized. They don't have an app, but you can scrape their entire database. And what they've done really well is they've answered a few questions. So the first thing you want to say is like, what are the most important questions that people are asking? People are asking like, how far is it from me?
Yeah, so I'm in my apartment in downtown. How do I get to this trail? I want to go somewhere for the weekend away with my friends. It's Thursday. How do I figure that out? Okay, how far away is this place from me? Also, maybe how much it would cost. Like,
if there's a cost associated,
or on a car. Like, do you need a car? And also maybe like, I guess, what else we can talk about?
You also want to know how difficult is the trail.
Yeah,
how hard it is.
Pictures of the trail, so you could or little videos of what it looks like at the very top.
Pictures.
Yeah, videos. Video guys. Video is the future, guys.
Yeah. You also want to know the local weather that's going to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to schedule meetup rides with your friends. That's like an extra.
Exactly. But you can put that in transit. So your transit, is there an entrance cost associated? When is it open?
GPS for logs.
GPS.
But you can just open in maps. Right?
No, for sure. But GPS is important. Or does it have signal? Like, is it off the beaten path?
Yeah. That's good.
Then you want to know, is it kid friendly? Kid friendly, and then wildlife.
Are there reviews of these trails?
Yeah, for sure.
And who is going there? Like, you can.
Are there
This girl you met on Tinder is there. Oh, I'm gonna go there.
And then, how long does it take?
What should
I bring?
Yeah. What should I bring?
Like, recommended things that other users think you should bring.
Yeah.
What should I bring? And then
incline?
Yeah.
Workout.
What's the name of the app?
It's an idea right now.
Trail Finder.
Eric's app.
Yeah, no, and that's an important thing. And so what you're doing here is you do that, but then also what you're going to say is, okay, what's on the App Store right now? And then so you download a couple apps on the App Store, you take a couple of screenshots, and you realize, what do you like that they have? What don't you like that they have? what are the great experience points. So for example,
So now we're just gonna take pictures. This is the app called Pop, P-O-P, really easy. Pop, like get out. Pop. Just take pictures of the piece of paper. If you can just pass.
pass a couple more.
clean sheets.
So what we can do now, though,
And
in
then
the
just,
room,
like-
in the room, we can vote what is MVP.
Exactly. What is
What is the most
one
important?
or two things? Trying to find one thing that is the most important feature. So MVP, what is that?
So I would say you'd want to have obviously the list
Yeah, maybe just have a list. Just
by
the
lo-
MVP.
yeah, list by location. So
Keep
you
your
wanna have,
MVP so simple that it's like embarrassing. That's a good quote from
Yeah.
Paul Graham
Yeah.
again.
so you want to have a list.
GPS. Okay, so we have one vote for GPS.
One vote for GPS.
Why GPS?
Well, you don't want to get lost in the middle of the
Mhm.
trail.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
So GPS for the trail.
Yeah, for the trail, you know.
But before that, when you're choosing a trail, so
Yeah,
think of
like
now
you're
think
at
of the
home.
customer journey. I want to go.
Yeah, customer journey.
Quality
Awesome.
of the trail. So the
It's rating.
so
And one
your
to
reviews of the
five.
trail,
1 to 5. Is it a good trail?
Yeah.
Rate, okay,
Your
rating.
user experience.
That's actually cool. I like that.
So the way I'm seeing it is this, most people have different ideas of what is going to make them make that decision for the trail. So I think what you want to do is you want to have a list and you want to have filters. So you want to say, okay, here are all the trails that you can do in Vancouver. The first filter is distance. The second filter is difficulty. The next filter is cost. The next
It could
filter is
be
that.
first filter is user experience, like other users reviews. Like
But
here
the
are all
one
the
thing with
5-star
that-
trails.
Exactly. The one thing with that is, that, so this guy from 37 Signals,
Yeah.
and Ryan Singer, he does the UX. He says, the one thing you want to make sure though is if no one else ever in the whole world ever uses this app, how is it going to be useful to you? So with user reviews, it's a great filter. But like if there's
Not
no one
useful.
else, it's not useful right
That's
off the bat
great.
because
That's
if no
great.
one else is on the app, then it's
Yeah.
like it's not a good filter.
So just literally a list of all the trails. 'Cause
All the
I
trails,
actually would right now. I don't know all the trails in Canada or in Vancouver. What are they? I have no idea. I know there's like Grouse Grind, and then there's Cypress, and then you can go to Whistler, Squamish. But like, what if you just had a list of all trails and in a given,
What if you
For
want to know how
distance.
busy they
Yeah,
were,
for
like how
distance.
saturated?
Exactly. No,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's why I think.
No, but you need people
I think
to
the
use it
filter-
to know that.
But you could get that data maybe for like public busy
Yeah.
data. Yeah, but I think that's why you want to have the filter.
You could literally just start with a list and just have an email. This is the list of all the trails in Vancouver area.
But if you pull up Vancouver Trails, you'll see that they have theirs by distance, time that it's open, difficulty, cost, how much time it takes to do it.
Wow. You should take note of this, Vancouver
Yeah.
Trails.
And
Yeah.
I already ripped the database. Like you can just
Yeah.
like scrape it with a web scraper.
Wow.
No, they don't have API. I just took the go up.
So how did you scrape something? This is a programming thing. How did you scrape
I used a Chrome extension and go to Trails.
Chrome extensions?
I was literally because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, oh my god, I just want to hike. Like I
Wow.
don't think. So you see that?
I'm gonna let me share the screen with you.
Okay.
guys.
Yeah.
It's gonna show my screen. Cool. So wow, they have ratings. They have
They have
ratings already here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa. Your app is built.
The app is built.
Your
Now what you
database
do
is sitting right in front of you.
Yeah.
You
It's
create a
already-
And this is
Yeah.
awesome, so how would you respond to saying like, okay, you know, this is a personal problem,
Just put it-
but I can't develop it myself, and you want to get it like built, but you need funding like 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. Would you look at an enterprise level solutions that can be incorporated into this, or like, how would you go about getting it developed for like really low?
really low cost. I
If
mean,
you were
like
to pay $20 maybe, but then you get a ton of them. Right?
yeah, exactly. So I mean, the thing is, then you have to think about your revenue model. Is like, are you going to try and make revenue right away and make the app like $5 to $20, or make $1, or have ads served every single time someone opens the app? There are some website builders like Como, where you can build like an app like without coding. You like drag and drop and add all the forms onto there. That's one way. There are a couple forums that you can post. I think it's like Weekend Coder is one where you can post, and Assembly is one where you basically go on and you say, I have this idea, and then people come on and they can like get in on the idea and they can build little parts. It's like, I want someone to build a landing page, and you give them like points, and then like that way you sort of form your team. That's one way to do it. But the best way, sorry, Ripen.
Yeah.
Ripen, yeah. So you can like put it as a challenge to student
Yeah.
developers.
That they're actually you can put a challenge to the VanHack community. I'm sure you guys can create something pretty cool,
like
right?
99 design.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is the VanHack community, is that, can you also do it on
Yeah,
VanHack community?
VanHack sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's taking a picture.
It's true, man. It's most exciting.
So I was thinking you're gonna have a GPS. So Mike's gonna drop the MVP. I think that what you guys are seeing is like how fast you should move and how much you can just leverage other tools if you know how it's done. To like this tool pop, it's free, like anyone can use it. And if you have any kind of idea that you want to see in the world, like there's so many free tools. Just one tool actually Spring just launched is called Impact Money Finder. impactmoneyfinder.ca, and you can literally find like all the grants that exist in all the venture capital companies and any kind of money. So just check that out. And anyway, so I guess we can kind of finish off the interview after you finish this MVP exercise, but I want to open up the floor to you guys. Like, do you guys have any questions? Was what he said, did that make sense? Maybe we can kind of transition to the second part of the meetup. So I don't know. I don't know either of you, or you are kind of know your husband, but I'm curious to see what you guys think, because you're not. Yeah. Cool.
Before I came to Vancouver, I was studying how to build my own website, my own idea.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was studying the Lean Startup.
Yeah, nice.
Because of that, I set up my own blog to build up my audience.
Cool.
Well,
what was the blog about?
It's called IT Most Better.
IT Most.
Yeah, it's like IT environment. The idea is to explain members that the IT is a good area to work.
Okay.
And offer
Can I have
them
the
a
mouse?
kind of coaching, how to get there, how to
help IT people get jobs? Like, you and I need to talk.
That's
exactly it.
Not just jobs, but
okay.
if someone would
better
like
skills
to
or
become a database administrator.
Yeah.
for example.
Yeah.
So how can you get there?
Nice.
What
So
do you
like,
need to learn?
that's cool.
So kind of coaching, and later on I would like to provide content.
Fantastic.
But my challenge is
So yeah.
is to draw my audience into
Yeah.
to this idea.
How attract?
Yeah.
How attractive?
How to get users.
Yeah. So you have to learn how to make videos. You have to learn how to write good articles.
Mm-hmm.
So I've
How
heard
do you
about
grow?
copywriting.
Yeah.
So I guess copywriting is something related to marketing, marketing sales.
Yeah.
So that is something that I don't have
So do you want to do copywriting in English or in Portuguese?
in Portuguese.
Okay.
So actually,
How do I spell your website?
this is F because
Yeah.
it's in Portuguese.
I would, you should write this down. Write down Kissmetrics.
Instead of P8,
Yeah, I know.
F. Yeah.
Write down Kissmetrics.
Just not-
Kissmetrics. They are sort of the premier marketing blog in Silicon Valley, and they show you how to write articles. If you can, literally, like, there's everybody can write. Everybody can write. There's like even like half the people who are writing on the internet are not professional writers. They're just people who are putting themselves out there. So don't judge yourself and say, "Oh, I'm not a copywriter." What you want to do is you want ideas. You're looking for ideas. So Kissmetrics blog will allow you to say, "Okay, here are the top 5 blog messages that can help you, get people in on your website," or how to structure. It's really more about structure. So if you look at, give us another high-level overview of what you're trying to do for this one.
Okay, yeah, so there's a lot of things we can do to make this better.
For example, I did I made 2 articles, one video
Mhm.
and one writing article.
Which one's the video?
So this one is the video.
I clicked on the wrong one.
So the website is to help people get more interested in technology?
Sorry?
The website is to help more people get interested in technology?
Yes.
Awesome.
Well, I had a personal experience
Yeah.
when I was younger.
Story. Awesome.
No,
There you go.
yes.
There you go. Have you
No,
written that on the website?
Yes. Not exactly.
It
You
should be
see,
the
that's
what
what I
I mean.
mean.
That I
That
should
should be the
see.
first thing you should
I
see.
should
Is like
see that.
why. It's like yeah. So tell us about your personal experience.
Well, in the beginning, I didn't know how to get there. So nobody tell me how to get there. How to
Where was
become
there?
an IT professional.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I spent a lot of money doing courses that is not good for me. For example, I did an NCSA course.
Mhm.
So I spent $2,000,
Wow.
and I didn't have any experience. So I should have started in something more basic.
Mhm.
So I'm sure that we have people in the same situation in Brazil. So I would like to provide a coach for them.
100%.
Dude,
Yeah.
you
So-
and I are so much the same level, it's not even funny.
It's,
So, this is our friend. How do we get this to see?
It's on the TV.
Cool, yeah, can you just turn up the volume of the TV? I don't know how to do that. Cool, whoa, that was cool.
So sorry.
You have a good videos, man. This is
Yeah,
good.
some great videos.
Yeah. Okay, the mouse sucks, by the way. Like, look, I'm moving it, it's not
so
moving.
I spent almost 3 months learning how to
3 months?
to
Okay.
make videos, how to
Okay.
work with lights.
Okay, I'm gonna have to mute us, because that's us talking. Anyway. This is us in the past, by the way. This is us in the past. We're seeing the past. This is what Brazil market is seeing right now.
Okay, so
Hi, everybody. I hope you guys are having fun. Just gonna finish up here soon. Yeah. So he just spent 3 months making this video. Education, food. Okay.
So the thing I would look at is, one, you need to convert your website into a landing page that converts. So what you're looking for is you're looking at Kissmetrics Blog, great information. Unbounce Blog, great information.
Tell us about
Everything
Unbounce.
by Neil Patel from Sprout. What's it called? Quick Sprout. Yeah, exactly. So what we're saying about Unbounce is Unbounce allows you to make landing pages. So right now you have a website, and there's probably about 8 elements on that home page. It's distracting. It's like walking into a party and all your friends are like me. It's like there's no focus. Instead, you want to change your website something like this. Yeah, it's like, do you want to become an IT professional? Video button, 2 buttons there. Yes, I want. Tell me more. Why did I start? Why? 2 buttons. One that says why, one says tell me or whatever. And then you filter people now to those decisions. You're creating the experience. And then what you're doing right off the bat is you're trying to figure out if what you're trying to offer is interesting to people. So if someone comes to the site, instantly they know, what is this site about? And so if they don't want to become an IT professional, they can leave, and that's fine. But if they do, now they have 3 options. Sometimes you just want to have one, but they can watch the video, they could learn more, they could download something, and then you keep going. And then below that, you want to do like my story, and then just have your story, why you started the thing, keep talking. And then below that, if people have come by, you have something that says, an email that says, download my lessons learned. So summarize. What are all the mistakes you made? So you make a blog post that says, these are the 10 mistakes I made when I started becoming an IT professional. Next blog post says, these are the worst courses to do online. Next blog post, these are the best courses to do online. Things like that. You start just sharing very, very relevant information. Now that's on your website. Now how do you share that forward? You start thinking, what are the forums that Brazilians or people that you're targeting are looking in this? Maybe you're going to university forums, IT forums, and then you also want to get on offline. So you think of your marketing as my website, other people's websites, Twitter, Facebook, and then the real world. Where in the real world can you go in the real world and start talking to people? Maybe you get to a high school, say, can I give a talk on my story? Maybe you go into another website, says, can I write a blog post about like the best sites, etc. And then you bring those all together, and then you're going. But you really want to be very clear on like why, because you have a very clear story. You wasted a lot of time, and now you want to share that going forward.
He learned.
You learned through mistakes, yeah. But I mean, it's the same as all of us. Same thing with me with gardening. We learned so much, and we wanted to help people start faster so they could have a better time, because the real passion is not to learn how to become an IT professional and go through all these things. The real thing is you want to be doing the best courses all the time to keep your career going forward. So, yeah. And then your question is, do you want to monetize the page? So maybe you sell a course. Pay me $1, download this course, or pay money to watch the videos. Or maybe it's just a hobby, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I was discussing with Gabriel. He helped me with some ideas.
Awesome.
So
Gabriel's great.
here in North America, we have some good platforms that offer IT content. So I can compete with them right now. But the idea is offer the coaching first, because these platforms, they have a bunch of contents, and people that maybe the younger, they don't know what to do with that content. So to become a database administrator, you have a lot of steps to go there.
Exactly.
So my idea is to prototype and build a website, just giving a coach, like an interactive panel. So I'd like to go there, so go these steps, go through these steps, and also provide the contents for them, not my own contents, but as you said, like a book, like a video, or like platforms in here in North America. That's my prototype, my idea, to try to draw my audience into my idea.
Yeah, and I think it's great. I think it's just for you to just change the style of your website. So here, I think we should just go on to Unbounce. You see, like this is the website. You see, build. Now it's telling you exactly what they're at. Main headline: build, publish, and A/B test landing pages without IT. Okay, the mobile responsive landing page for marketers. Okay, how does it work? Build, publish, test. Okay, then boom. And I want to click the button. It already very, very clear instructions of what's going on. So if we go back to yours. Yeah.
So this is actually how I created VanHack. I created one of these pages. I created one of these pages, and 1 week I got 100 emails, and I was like, "There's something here."
Yeah.
There's that. I just want you guys to. I'm just really transparent with you guys. Like that's how I was able to test my idea, and like we're here now, and it's awesome. But like at the beginning, like almost a year ago, I was like coming back from Brazil to Canada. I was like, "Holy shit! I have to restart my life in this new country, and I have to teach this woman, amazing woman, my wife, about Canada." But like, holy crap, like that's so new. And like, I kind of felt what it was like to be a Brazilian moving to Canada. So that's why I just said, okay, well, why don't I just put an Unbounce page up? And, you know, my assumption was wrong. I thought people were gonna come here to do the boot camps. I thought people were gonna come, and I don't know where Anderson went. There he is. I thought I was gonna bring people like you to do the boot camps. I didn't realize there were people who like Thiago, like who are already programmers who want to move here. And those are the people who most got in touch with me. So like, okay, let's serve them first, and then we can figure it out. But I think that, you know, it's really important to just get your ideas out there for your case, and just it's free. It's so easy once you know the tools, and then you just kind of like start reading the blogs, start, you know, coming to events like this and learning about it, and then you'll just start seeing your metrics change, and you start having a really like data-driven approach to your marketing, and you'll feel like, whoa, if I do X, then Y happens. Well, how do I make Y bigger? How do I change X? And just start experimenting. And then, you know, like Mike was saying, talking to people. Nothing beats talking to people.
Don't be afraid to share.
Yeah.
I think this is a challenge.
Like your site for us, like,
You're totally
amazing.
right.
We
You're
can
totally
just
right.
share
Exactly,
what you do with our entire network, and it's so relevant, right? Because you can be like a coach to help people. That's amazing.
It's amazing, and that's why I was saying with your website, like your website doesn't clearly show that when you get there. Like when you have the video on that page, it's still more of a blog. But if you made it, no, I don't want that. So a landing page that converts, a clear call to action, something you offer them something, the narrow focus, and so then they take all the, you know, this is cautionary tale. You see, there's too many things going on there. This is way better, you know. So you just have that one big image. The video is right there. Pocket's great.
This is like you showed me in the paper.
Yeah,
basically
exactly this. We showed you. Yeah.
How to just log on.
Just log in. You know, do you want to become and then that button should be coach me, or I want coaching, or learn more. Then you go down my story. I am a person who came through this. Okay, I still want to coach you. Not convinced. Below that, then you have testimonials from people you've coached. He really helped me. Now I have a job, etc. You know. So again, you see, look at this website. It's too many things going on. Perfect. Very, very simple. Decrease stay selling by 29%. You know, just very, very easy. People always get overwhelmed online.
From this page, they used to work with email letters.
It's up to you. You can choose. You can get them if that's your objective, and then that's the whole point. Do you want them to just sign up for your newsletter? Do you want them to sign up for coaching right away? The way that I would do it is you start with get coaching right there. Then you get the people who really want to convert. Some people don't want, so they go down. So I'll give you an example even of our website. Oh, wrong computer.
Yeah, we are two technologies. How do we use computers?
Could you articulate it in the funnel sense too, or like the other website of the database there? He's got all this content for things that you talked about.
Yeah.
Just do the landing page itself and then draw back, so you would be getting emails there.
Mhm.
Then doing the video, and then moving people through a funnel where you could convert them versus just saying, okay, here's my coaching up front, and being more simple there. That way you can test a lot of his ideas as well.
Exactly. No, you're right. And so the thing is, that's why even with the landing pages is this is your main website, but then you can have different pages for different things. So one page could just be, give us your email, you get this video, or give us your email and you'll get daily tips, or here's a video course, sign up right now. You can definitely just like see how people actually want to be coached. Because some people, he's right, some people may not be able to meet you. Some people may not be able to Skype you. Some people may just want a book. You literally could just make a physical book that you sell for $20. These are all the tips and tricks, and maybe you sell them to parents who give them their kids. Bedtime story, how to become an IT professional.
Hey Mike, I have a question here from Emerson Jose, who's actually an iOS developer from Brazil, and he wants to move here. It says, Mike, do you think the good way for Brazilians to show up your skills and to show off your skills and ability, you think writing tutorials in English is a good thing, like having a personal website in English? Like,
Yes.
you think that'll make a difference
I think
in
that
you,
makes-
like hiring someone or not?
I think that makes a huge difference. I think it makes a huge difference because I guess that's the other barrier is like seeing is that communication channel. Write not only tutorials in English, but have your website in English. Build some applications in English as well, because again, you're coming here for that market, and so people want to be able to connect with your thinking like that.
Okay, so talk about that. What do you want to see? Like, would someone build a landing page for themselves? Like, let's say I'm looking for a job. If I build a landing page for myself, it's like, hey, I'm an iOS developer. Want to interview me? Like, Emerson, if you build a landing page right now, Emerson, go to unbounce.com, build a landing page for Mike. Build a landing page talking about why he should hire you. And have your phone number, your email, all your information there.
GitHub,
like
projects.
Because it's all about efficiency. He's a busy guy, and if he can make a decision quickly and like see your code and know who you are, he's gonna appreciate that. He's gonna go, hey, maybe you can do a test.
Exactly.
Maybe we can do a test, and then you
yeah,
go
maybe
from
our
there.
test. Maybe our test will be
You want
to
him
build
to opt in
to build this little app.
Yeah,
this
which
view pull from a database.
which I literally have. Which I literally have ready now. So if you actually want to play with it, it's live.
Send it on.
Yeah, so it's live. Yeah, so you can play with the app. Here, actually, this is that's the app. Okay. Where's the how many people can you take the screen like that? Sure, how do I just go into here it is. Play?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So show them what you're doing.
So
Emerson, can you build this? If you do, you have a job.
yeah.
Seriously.
How do you?
So if you touch it, you can see
Yeah,
there's
I'm
the
gonna
green.
put the resolution down.
Yeah, it's too bright. So this is literally
There
like
we go.
how you add value to people. You see what they want, and you go out and get it to them. So Mike right now wants an iOS app. That's what he wants. And
So
if
this, yeah.
you can build that, then you will have a job here. Or
So for example, this trails. I can see the distance, etc. I can see how hard they are. I can see a photo of what the view is going to look like at the top. And now I've clicked on one of the things, and I
whoa, go. You can go to 2 pages, and you can see like, I just literally used a piece of paper, and I wrote that on a piece of paper, and that's how easy it is to create your prototype.
there you go.
Okay, so let's finish it up here. Emerson is saying, cool, yes, he can. Emerson, show me your code. Send that email to Mike.
Yep.
We'll see. We'll have to maybe have a follow-up interview with Emerson if he can build this app for you guys.
Yeah, perfect, Emerson. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
Ilya, thank you so much for having me.
No,
Guys,
it's been really
thanks
fun.
for coming out. It's been such a great event. Good luck with the rest of them. And like I said, we're opening a portal, you know. We're opening a portal. I think, you know, most tech companies are still, you know, outside of, you know, communications like Facebook are still very, very location-based. And the internet is just beginning. The greatest things the internet has done haven't yet been done. So, you know, think of the next billion people, think of the people in your communities, think of how technology can help them. Not so much just for social good help, but also just help them solve problems. If you can solve problems where they use technology or human-centered design, you're going to be successful. And keep practicing, keep learning. I don't know all the answers, but every day I'm studying, either learning from people, learning from blogs, learning by practice, learning from mistakes. And, you know, 5 years from now, that's the plan. It's like, you know, I'm 25. 5 years from now, I want to be an expert. And the things we're going to do then are going to be amazing. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, we're just going to say bye to everyone. Thank you guys so much for participating. This is just an interview for Brazil Canada Connect, which will happen at the end of May, on May 22nd. If you want to participate, you can just sign up right now, BrazilCanadaConnect.com. We are super excited to make this happen. We want to find an iOS developer for our friend Mike. And if you are an iOS developer or a designer and you have not emailed Mike, like, please
email me now.
Make that happen. Like, just send him your resume, send him a personal website in English if you have it. That would be awesome. If you go to Felipe Fernandez's website, maybe he can share it. It's amazing. He's a designer from Brasilia. He has a fantastic, he's also the CEO of Chocolat Design, which is one of the biggest blog posts of design blogs in Brazil. So you guys can check that out. There's people here in the real world and people online, and it's crazy. So I'm just going to stop that, and we're going to get back with you guys another podcast or another podcast, another webinar. Thank you so much, Mike.
Take care. Take care.
Tchau, pessoal. Abração.